attached to sadhus who used to come as wandering monks, how his mother felt greatly worried and tried to stop him. And finally, the monks themselves came to her house to assure her that they will not take them. And then she permitted Gadadhar to go once again to the monks' place where they used to reside temporarily to serve them. तो उसी समय ऐसी तो घटना घटता रहता था. Because you see, Gadadhar was obviously not an ordinary child. Obviously, ऐसे कोई बच्चे के पालना, to bring up, ये तो सहज बात नहीं है. So always, such parents, of course, we don't have a detailed description of Jesus, how he was during his boyhood. But लेकिन चैतन्य महाप्रभु के बारे में भी कुछ घटनाएं हम लोग जानते हैं. That was more actually after he became a little older. उसी समय वो भक्तों के साथ जैसे से वो व्यवहार करते थे, कई लोग का उनके बारे में क्या क्या दर्शन हुआ, all that we get. But this is one instance. About Sri Ramchandra तो we get very little details except from that बहुत बचपन से ही वो अपना भाई के लेके गया to protect the ऋषि मुनियों का रक्षा करने के लिए. He had gone to the forest to protect them. That much we know. But this is something, even from a very young age, बहुत सारे ऐसी कोई आध्यात्मिक संबंधित घटनाएं, some kind of a spiritual experience, even as a mere boy, 9-10 साल की लड़का. So obviously, how the parents would understand. Chandra Devi was no doubt a very pious soul, बहुत ही सज्जन व्यक्ति थी. And she used to care for everybody, and she was extremely loving, compassionate. सब कुछ ठीक है. फिर भी ऐसे कोई घर पे, मान लीजिए, कल्पना भी हम लोग नहीं कर सकते कि स्वयं भगवान कोई मनुष्य रूप धारण करके घर पे रहे. How to even imagine such a situation? Is it not? Even if a child is little more than ordinary, quite often the first thought that comes to the parents is something wrong with the child. इसका कोई गलत है, कुछ गलतियां हैं, कुछ प्रॉब्लम है, कुछ मेडिकल इश्यूज है. That is what normally is thought of. And particularly like, bhav samadhi, etc., etc., they have not even heard probably. Is it not? Because even when Master Moshe later on, when he went to Thakur, and he was stunned when he saw Thakur in Samadhi. किसी ने उनको समझाया इसका नाम समाधि है. Because obviously he has not heard or he has not seen. Maybe those who have studied Yoga Sutras, the only place where this Samadhi is discussed, Yoga Sutras. Nirvikalpa, Savikalpa Samadhi, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, Asamprajna Samadhi, all that. Different types of Samadhis are discussed only in the Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. Where else you get a description of these kind of Samadhis? Even in very very well known प्रसिद्ध भक्ति ग्रंथों में भी भगवान का दर्शन हुआ, ऐसी भक्ति में डूब गया. All that we get. But there also specifically somebody getting into samadhi, I think, even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life not so much is described about his being immersed in samadhi like that. Probably all of them must have had. He was such a great soul. He was also virtually considered an avatar, obviously. So obviously he must have had. But then we don't have such detailed descriptions. But this life seems to be very, very different. And very frequently Thakur was passing through such phases, such moods. So naturally तो उनकी अभी तो पिता भी नहीं है, माता अकेला थी. So obviously she was very much worried. So he was increasingly becoming more and more spiritual. His moods were manifesting. So उस दिन तो I think one day along with the प्रसन्ना मई की साथ और कुछ महिलाएं वो विशालाक्षी मंदिर में वो गए थे, वो रास्ता में ऐसे कोई भाव समाधि होके गिर पड़े. They brought him. After a long time, after chanting and all that, he became normal. But obviously, everybody was, the first thought those days was that he's suffering from epileptic fits. उसका ऐसे कोई मृगी रोग पकड़ाया, उसका कैसे में ठीक करें. But anyway, the point is, when he was asked, he said his mind, he has become unconscious because his mind had merged in the goddess as he was contemplating. हम लोग तो देखो एक ही साथ एक ना तीन ना पांच काम करते हैं कई बार ना, ये भी करते हैं वो भी करते हैं, इसके भी देखते हैं, इसके साथ भी बात करते हैं, दूसरा कोई आ रहा जा रहा है वो भी नजर है. व्हाई? बिकॉज आवर सेंसेस आर कंप्लीटली अलर्ट. आप जितना है आपके आंख कान सब काम कर रहे हैं एक साथ. सो यू आर स्मेलिंग, यू आर सीइंग, यू आर टॉकिंग, यू आर हियरिंग, सब कुछ मान लीजिए सब ऐसे कोई एकत्रित होके किसी जगह पे संपूर्ण रूप से डूब गया. We also have a very maybe 1,000th part of what is called samadhi. Supposing you are so absorbed in reading a book, इतना आपका मन का कब्जा कर लिया वो, it is totally caught hold of your mind. आसपास में कुछ भी आपको पता नहीं चले, कोई बुला रहे हैं, कोई खड़ा है, कोई है, यू आर नॉट आंसरिंग. बाद में अरे 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 क्या हुआ, कब आया कब आया, अरे मैं तो 15 मिनट से यहाँ खड़ा हूँ, क्या कर रहे हो तुम. नहीं नहीं, इतना अब्सॉर्ब. So this is maybe 1,000th of what Thakur or 1 millionth of what Thakur used to have. But in his case, there's nothing to do with anything on earth. यहाँ कोई धरती संबंधित कुछ नहीं है, लेकिन अतीन्द्रिय जगत के, where he was contemplating about God. Contemplating means we don't know what he was contemplating. माँ की वही रूप की ऐश्वर्य, उनकी गुणों की ऐश्वर्य, किसकी बारे में सोच रहे थे मालूम नहीं है, because he has not seen Vichalaksha. ऐसे नहीं पहले देखा, वो याद करवा के मन में देखा. Can we say that? No. So you had only heard people are going. जब जाते समय तो कीर्तन करते करते जाते थे. So they must have, अच्छा विशालाक्षी सब माँ की सब ऐसी उपासना कर रहे हैं. Some idea of mother, some idea of something divine. उसी से उनका ऐसे ही सोच सोच के वो भावांतर हो गया, ऐसे कोई भाव समाधि में चले. Although he says, my mind had merged in the goddess because he was contemplating on her. What kind of contemplation we don't know. Because normally हम लोग दुर्गा के बारे में कैसे सोचते हैं, प्रतिमा कहाँ देखा, अच्छा तस्वीर कहाँ देखा, वही हम लोग we try to keep it in our heart, we try to concentrate, we try to think about it. But here इसके बारे में कुछ उन्होंने सुना. वहां जाके भी आप देखिए वहां कोई ऐसे मूर्ति कुछ नहीं है, एक पत्थर है वो. There is no special मूर्ति or anything of विशालाक्षी there. So उन्होंने क्या उसके बारे में सोचा? Something about her divinity. See, actually that's why such minds are capable of extraordinary contemplation. हम लोग का कोई चीज देखना सुनना उसके बाद याद करना बड़ी बात है. So why we are not able to meditate? ठाकुर के बारे में आप बहुत सारी अच्छी मूर्तियां देखे, बहुत सारा तस्वीरों देखे, बट व्हेन वी ट्राई टू रिमेम्बर, थोड़ा मुंह से थोड़ा ध्यान होता है तो पैर नहीं देख पाते. सो वी डोंट कंप्लीटली कॉन्टेम्पलेट इवन द फुल फिगर ऑफ ठाकुर, although you have seen it many times and we are seeing every day, but such minds are so vast. कोई एक शब्द से, सिंपली हियरिंग अ वर्ड और एन इंडिकेशन, ऐसा कुछ से कल्पना इतनी दूर जा सकता है, we cannot even imagine how it is possible. It can go to very great heights. Simply that can get transported. इसलिए ना उनका बाद में भी one need not say anything. कहाँ से कोई एक संकेत दिया, कुछ याद करवाया, उसी से समाधि सूझा. Because such minds are here out of kind of a compulsion. हम लोग ये जगत में पूरी तरह पकड़ के हम लोग रहते हैं. We are totally involved, totally attached. इससे ऊर्ध्व जाना बहुत मुश्किल है. Rarely we manage. But here is a mind always in a different realm, somehow coming to the earth for some transaction. कुछ करने के लिए, कुछ रहने के लिए, कुछ बोलने के लिए, कुछ देखने के लिए. So in a very small way only we such minds come down. इसीलिए उनका उसी से भावांतर होना, भाव समाधि होना कोई प्रयास ही नहीं है. Just a little small effort would immediately take them to a different level. That is the point. Yeah. So that is a difference in the case of such minds. They don't normally need a big effort. बहुत ऐसे बैठ के बहुत ध्यान किया, बहुत सोचा, उसके बाद ऐसे नहीं. तुरंत, in a fraction of a second, immediately the mind soars. Because he is always, see, उनकी दृष्टि से अतीन्द्रिय जगत का कनेक्शन बहुत सारा स्ट्रांग है. Supposing you are here, but you're constantly thinking only about your son or daughter or somebody elsewhere abroad or whatever it is, आपकी यहाँ connection कम ही रहेगी. You'll always be imagining that, and always वहां से कुछ आया तो उसी लेके आप 3 दिन चला रहे हैं, उसी बोलते रहते हैं, सुबह शाम वही बात करते रहे. Because your mind is always there. Like that, the minds of such extraordinary souls, they always, ऐसे ही विचरण करते रहेंगे, ऐसे चलते रहेंगे. Any small suggestion, immediately it will go from here to there. That's why later on also, you could come back and stay on this earth because there's a divine command that you stay in bhav. रहो एक ऐसी जगह पे, आप जरूरत तो वहां चले जाओ, नहीं तो नीचे उतर जाओ, दोनों संभव था. So he was always, moreover, as he grew older and as he did more and more sadhana, he had more and more experience. उसके साथ साथ वे सबको संयम में रखना, वो भी तो उनके तोड़ा आ गया. Although then also he would go into samadhi etc. very frequently, but बचपन की तरह ऐसे नहीं है. उनका खुद के ऊपर बिल्कुल कंट्रोल नहीं था संभव ही. Otherwise, in his room, all kinds of people used to come. All of them not were great spiritual aspirants. फिर भी उन वही परिसर भी रहने का संभव था. He could do probably because of his extraordinary sadhana, he also had the capacity to control his the upsurge of spiritual emotions to some extent. So he would always like that. Then 2 years passed. Gadadhar almost forgot the loss of his father. He adjusted to the ups and downs of daily life. So then this Dharamdas Laga was a great friend of this Khudiram. His son, Gaya Vishnu, and Gadadhar became great friends. And so they will always एक दूसरे की बांग्ला में संगात एक expression है, meaning friend or pal. So they will use that expression. And कोई उनका बुलाते तो you take this Gaya Vishnu also. And so obviously he had at least some friend and somebody to share with the joys of childhood. So when he was about to complete his 9th year, Ramkumar unka upanen ka for the sacred thread ceremony, because he was a Brahmin boy. So Ramkumar, his elder brother, was making all arrangements. But long before that, Dhani, yeah, she was a gold, she was obviously from a so-called lower caste, but she was from that family of blacksmith's family, that Dhani Kamarini. So she had requested him, किसी वक्त उनकी भी देखो क्या साहस. Normally nobody would dare make such a request. She said, आपका जब when you have your jani in that sacred ceremony, you must address me as mother and take the first भिक्षा. क्योंकि वहां तो उस समय उसकी बात जैसे एक ब्राह्मण की प्रवृत्ति है भिक्षा लेना है. That was the thing. So the first person to give भिक्षा will be me. तो गदाधर तो सहज सरल थे. हाँ हाँ होगा, मान लिया. He did not know anything about caste, nor did he think it's something very great. ये कोई हम लोग का किसी को उल्लंघन करना है, किसी को तोड़ना है नियम. He was not aware of all that. He was very सहज सरल बालक थे. जब मैंने पूछा, maybe he was much younger, he did not even know about these caste distinctions and all that. When she requested, you must address me as mother and then Bhiksha, immediately he agreed. He agreed, but I am really wondering how spiritual this Dhani must have been. Because, she was not from such a background. ऐसी बड़ी साधिका थी, वो भी कहाँ है लिखा नहीं. But she was a person with a great spiritual bent of mind, because later on, throughout her life she was like that. And later on, when Holy Mother came to live in Kamarpukur after the Mahasamadhi of Sri Ramakrishna, she was the only person who supported in the whole village. अकेला वो उनका सपोर्ट करती थी, nobody else. So she always knew from a very young age that Sri Ramakrishna was not an ordinary person. इसलिए उन्होंने ऐसा कुछ कल्पना की लग रहा है मन में, ओ मेरा ऐसे बोले, आई विल बी कंप्लीटली लिबरेटेड. ऐसे कोई भगवान, ऐसे कोई व्यक्ति मेरे माँ बुलाती है, then for me everything will be over. Some kind of, she had something, मन में कुछ शर्त था. Otherwise, why she would ask him like that? See, we always only discuss how Gadadhar was very truthful and how he stuck to it. But I think the more important thing is to discuss about this Dhani, how she got the courage. In those days, मान लीजिए 150, 160 years, 170, probably 170, 180 years back, in that village where there was a clear distinction of various castes, a goldsmith woman asking a Brahmin boy, not an ordinary Brahmin, Shudiram's son, someone who was revered by the whole village as an ideal Brahmana. वो स्नान करते जाते थे, बाकी लोग पानी में नहीं उतरते थे. They used to stay away because the same water should not touch them like that. That kind of respect. Ask that person's son to be her foster son, or she herself to be his foster mother. Something unimaginable. Something was in her mind that she clearly understood that he is not an ordinary person. And somehow, and because he is not an ordinary person, in a normal family she would not have asked. Because he would have been rejected immediately. तुरंत ना कर देते, कोई सवाल ही नहीं था, कोई सुनते नहीं. But she knew that he was very extraordinary. And because he was extraordinary, she knew that he would agree. सब वो जानती थी. So इसमें सब समय आ गया. Then गदाधर बोला, मैं तो ऐसे तो वचन दिया, मेरा उसी से लेना है. तो रामकुमार was simply was aghast. ये कैसे संभव है? And then this was against family tradition. कोई सुना नहीं ऐसा, कोई एक ब्राह्मण ऐसे कोई परिवार की लड़का ऐसे कोई शूद्र महिला से पहला भिक्षा ग्रहण करेंगे. It was impossible. But Gadadhar gave a सुंदर तर्क दिया. देखो, उपनयन जन्मना जायते शूद्र संसारात द्विज उच्यते. सचमुच जानवी की बाद ही, after the sacred ceremony only, a person becomes a true brahmana. Before that, everybody is same. That's why it's not born as a shudra only, says everybody. Only because of this ceremony, which is so sacred, during which he is given Gayatri Mantra, after which he gets all the uh, facilities, all the abilities, all the permissions and the योग्यता हर तरीका पूजा वगैरह करने का. उसके पहले कुछ भी नहीं, कोई स्पर्श नहीं कर पाते थे, उससे प्रणाम करना, पुष्प चयन कर पाते थे, okay, but cannot enter inside the temple or touch the vigraha, etc. So he says the very back one becomes a brahmana by wearing the sacred thread. A brahmana should not tell a lie. That is the first thing. Brahma janati brahmana. One knower of Brahman is a brahmana, not somebody who has कोई शिका लगा दिया और कोई धोती पहनाया or he put on a sick. No, he is not a brahmana. Brahmana is supposed to be a knower of Brahman. And इतना तक नहीं है तो immediately at least adhering to truth, that was the first condition. So if I have a Upanayana and the first thing is to break a promise or become untruthful, then I am not fit to have Upanayana. Upanayana chhod do, zarurat nahi. Because I cannot have Upanayana and at the very first instant break my promise or become untruthful. No. So गीता में फंस गए, वो भी तो ठीक बोल रहे. How can you say no, आप झूठ बोलो, तो बोल नहीं सकते. So then naturally साहब व्यवस्था तो हो गया, लेकिन गदाधर is very firm. No, I will not agree. Then finally फिर धर्मदास ला के पास गया. Then he said, राव कुमार, अरे ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, आपके परिवार में ऐसा नहीं हुआ, लेकिन मैं सुना दूसरा कोई परिवार में दूसरा किसी को ऐसे मान लिया माँ के रूप में, इसलिए तुम्हारा कोई, nobody will criticize you. Everybody was worried only about, we're all worried about what others will say ना. मेरा कुछ क्या है नहीं, तो कोई बोले तो बस खत्म, कोई नहीं देखे बोले तो जो मर्जी हम लोग कर सकते हैं. But if somebody is seeing, somebody will criticize, बस finished. So naturally they're all worried. सारे गांव में क्या बोलेंगे, बाकी लोग क्या बोलेंगे. Say no, nobody will criticize. So आप करो, क्योंकि उसका तो एक शांति और आनंद की एक अवसर ना. Suparayana was a very sacred thing, and naturally he also agreed because Laha ki baat sab sunte the, because he was kind of a guardian for the whole family, particularly after Shridiram's passing away. So he agreed, and then Gadadhar was also very happy, and he practiced spiritual disciplines, and then he considered life blessed because she had become Gadadhar's godmother or foster mother. And इसके बाद गदाधर के 10 साल उम्र हो गया. Then around that time, the sacred ceremony की उस समय धीरे-धीरे बहुत सारे क्या उनके all his spiritual dimensions in various directions, they are getting slowly, manifested, so to say. Then there was at that time a large meeting of scholars had gathered at the Laha family. They were also very hospitable. They used to entertain. सब आए थे, सब पंडित व्यक्तियों सब बैठ के कोई विषय लेके, कोई फिलोसॉफिकल मैटर लेके बहुत चर्चा कर रहे. बट दे कुड नॉट कम टू एनी कंक्लूजन. उस समय गदाधर भी वहां बैठ के सुन रहे थे. Then suddenly he said, वो तो यही तो इसका ऐसे देखिए ना. He immediately gave a solution. And they were stunned. ये कैसे इतना छोटा बालक कैसे बोल रहे. So these are all, nothing is impossible in the realm of spirituality. लोग सोच रहे हैं कैसे बालक तो क्लास में भी नहीं गया, कैसे संभव है. We can ask all these questions, but these questions are not relevant because they get their knowledge from somewhere else. ठाकुर बताया ना, माँ राश चले दीचे. If you depend on the mother, she keeps on, unending supply of knowledge comes. So then he had become very happy, and he was able to do something quite close to his nature. Puja sab ho gaya. Then he knew that how Raghuveer had appeared in his father's dream and had given him darshan, etc. And that is how he was installed in their house. Now upon his arrival, क्या हुआ, रघुवीर शिला वहां प्रतिष्ठा करने के बाद उनका तो शुक्लाल गोस्वामी तो छोटी एक जमीन दिया था, बस स्मॉल पीस ऑफ लैंड, लक्ष्मी ज्वाला, लेकिन इतना धान वहां फसल हुआ था एवरी ईयर, सारा परिवार की जितने चावल की जरूरत है पूरा आ जाता था. देन देयर यूज्ड टू बी एक्सेस because she was very large hearted. She used to feed many in the village. It was, even now the Kamapuk Ashrama has that piece of land and it gives very good harvest every year. Those time तो इतना फसल होता था, entire family's need was met with a single small plot of land. So he knew how this coming of Raghuveer has been such a wonderful thing for the whole family, and he wanted to, he was now allowed to perform worship. का तो अभी sacred thread हो गया. Now he was eligible to worship, was regularly performing his worship, and he would also spend a lot of time in meditation and worship, etc. So he served Raghuveer with the deep devotion, and he was praying to the Lord that he might be blessed with visions and guidance, etc. जैसे मेरा पिता के आप मार्गदर्शन किया, मेरे भी करो. So it is said that he also worshipped Rameshwar Shiva and the Shitala. सब मंदिर में अभी भी तीनों है, आप देख पाएंगे. शीतला का जो मिट्टी का जो कलश और रामेश्वर शिव की शिवलिंग, और जिस ठाकुर ने वर्शिप किया वो रघुवीर शिला, तीनों अभी भी कमालपुर में हैं. So he was doing, but then he was quite often he would be immersed in Bhav Samadhi, etc. He had various spiritual visions, and then but nobody would take notice because he was तो मंदिर में ही था. बाहर कुछ हो तो सब पकड़ पाते हैं, अरे क्या हो गया, ओके. बट मंदिर में while doing worship, if he is immersed in Bhav Samadhi for 2-3 hours also, nobody would know. कैसा पता पूजा कर रहे पूजा कर रहे पूजा कर रहे. So he was quietly enjoying all those great experiences sitting inside the temple. And then, it was one day, it was a day of Shivratri. So he was fasting the whole day. Also, his friend Guy Vishnu and others are also worshipping. So they also thought that whole night they will keep awake by attending a drama on Shiva. Drama means not the normal drama here, it's something more close to a theater or jatra कहते थे बंगला में. So that's about the glory of Shiva. The whole दिन में तो पूजा वगैरह किए, रात में वहाँ क्योंकि सारा रात, क्योंकि it is considered keeping awake during the Shivratri night, whole night is very, very sacred. So it was Sitanath Pine ki घर पे होना था. I think he must have had a big, huge house. So the first 3-hour period of worship was over. ये मान लीजिए शाम को 6 से 9 or something like that. Then Gadadhar so deeply was absorbed in meditation and contemplation. Suddenly उनका सब, all his friends came and said, "Arey chalo chalo, the boy was to dress as Shiva for the jatra. He'd fallen sick, so you have to play the true." Imagine, the whole village knew. See, had he acted before? Was he a trained actor, professional or anything? सब लोग जानते थे शिव जी का जो किसी को पार्ट ऐसे भाग लेना, he was the choice because at least here is the person. Obviously, he does not know any dialogue or anything. because तो कोई बोला भी नहीं ना. He did not know. But इसका शिव सजाने में शिव की तरह दिखेगा that everybody knew because he had very good looks and his the aura about his face. So everybody knew that if he is dressed up to Shiva, चल जाएगा, अच्छा होगा. कुछ बोल नहीं पा रहे लेकिन वो तो ऐसे ही बैठ रहेगा, सब कुछ हो जाएगा. After all, they wanted some very good looking Shiva and would also have qualities. So everybody knew in the village this boy was very special. So ऐसे उन्होंने बोला ठीक है इसके हम लोग शिव सजाएंगे. So but Radha was not willing. He said, "No, मेरे तो पूजा बाकी है, मेरा पूजा में विघ्न होगा, ऐसे नहीं करूंगा." But everybody said, "अरे इससे मत बोलो क्योंकि ये भी तो पूजा की समान है. सारी रात तुम शिव जी के बारे में सोचोगे क्या क्या कम है, ऐसे समझाया। और बोला देखो गांव के इतने लोग हैं, सब दुखी हो जाए, सब सारा रात जगने के लिए तैयार है। वाई? बिकॉज दे नो दैट देयर इज गोइंग टू बी यात्रा, एंड इफ वी से नो then they will all be disappointed. So he agreed. So he came, and then they were uh, they put on the matted hair, जटा जूटधारी हो गए, उनका रुद्राक्ष पहनाया, सारे उनका होल बॉडी वाज besmeared with ashes, ऐसे उनके करके बिठाया। बस उनका तो कुछ चाहिए। He started thinking about Shiva, was completely immersed. He lost all outward consciousness. बाहर की जगत के उनका कोई ही भी, अच्छा शिव में तो आप कुछ तो नहीं बोलते, कुछ तो इधर उधर तो चलना पलना तो चाहिए ना। निकांत से इधर शिव का मूर्ति बैठाया ऐसे तो नहीं दिखाएंगे यात्रा में। इट इज नॉट दैट ओ हियर इज एन इमेज ऑफ शिव, आप लोग देखो, इट्स नॉट दैट। शिव का तो दो चार इधर उधर जाना, आशीर्वाद करना, मे भी स्मशान में जाना, आई डोंट नो व्हाट ऑल दे हैड प्लान्ड इन दैट यात्रा। कुछ तो उनका चलना फिरना तो चाहिए। बट हियर इज अ पर्सन डीपली अब्सॉर्ब्ड इन समाधि। सारे यात्रा सब गड़बड़ हो गया। नो यात्रा आफ्टर सेप्टेम्बर से चलो 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 और कुछ नहीं होगा। Then somehow they brought him, and then it was quite some time before he regained normal consciousness. So this उस समय से धीरे धीरे समाधि अनुभव करना वो उनका जीवन में एक नियमित रूप से आने लगा। See, listening to songs in praise of gods and goddesses, his mind would become so concentrated that it would withdraw for a period of time, becoming oblivious to external objects. बाहर जगत के साथ कुछ संपर्क नहीं रहता था। When his absorption was profound, he would completely lose outer consciousness and become like a lifeless statue. If questioned after returning from that state, he would say that he had been blessed with rapturous vision of the deity whom he had been meditating upon or whose praises he had heard being sung. इसीलिए भी बोल रहा हूँ, देखा नहीं है, बाद में भी ठाकुर खुद ही बताते थे। I cannot tell you how many forms of gods and goddesses I have seen in my visions. बहुत सारा कल्पना की बाहर है, beyond imagination. Various kinds with 4 hands and 4 feet, and though with several hands, several feet, कोई हंस में चढ़ के आ रहे, like that, all kinds of visions used to have. Like it was a galaxy of Dev time आते रहते थे। So here also, just some song, some indication, some idea, some word, somebody mentioning, immediately his mind would soar. And quite often, the absorption is so profound, we become completely unconscious of the surroundings. We be deeply absorbed. लेकिन बाद में पूछने में क्या बताते थे? It was a deep state of bliss, आनंद में। See, that is why, ठाकुर के बाद में ना, तो ब्रह्म समाज में कोई कोई बोलने लगे तो पागल हो गए, पागल हो गए। ठाकुर से they are saying, day and night people are thinking about worldly things, women and gold. उन लोग का दिमाग ठीक है, मैं जो सारा जगत का जिसकी वजह से चेतना है, the whole world is conscious because of him, and thinking about him I have become mad. बहुत अच्छी लॉजिक है इन लोग का, he used to say. So here also, see, that is the difference, people, so many people come and say that ये हुआ। कभी कभी वहां भी मेरे पास आ जाते थे, महाराज स्वामी जी आके मेरा यही बोला, मैं ये कर रहा था, हाँ बहुत सुंदर है, आप कीजिए। तो मैं क्या तर्क करूं? See, if anything is there, see the moment, that is the difference. This is one clear test. आपका जीवन में कुछ अध्यात्म कुछ घट रहा है, something is happening in the spiritual realm. Your logical thinking, your ability to understand, your behavior, all that become far sharper. And there will not be any inconsistency, anything that is illogical. ये सब चीज नहीं होगा आपका जीवन। So he was, and also Any such thing in some way or other will bring some joy to your heart. हम लोग का साधारण थोड़ा ज्यादा से बैठने में जॉय नहीं, दुख होता है, कोई यहाँ दर्द होता है, वहां दर्द होता है, बट इफ यू आर रियली ऑब्जर्व, देयर वुडंट बी एनी दुख, देयर वुडंट बी एनी सफरिंग. द माइंड वुड एक्सपीरियंस अ डिफरेंट थिंग. आपके शरीर की तरह नजर ही नहीं है. You won't be conscious of the body. Say people, if they can sit for long hours consistently, नहीं कभी कभी एक बार बेटा ऐसे नहीं, consistently those who sit for long hours, 5-6 घंटा, 8 घंटा, 10 घंटा हर रोज बैठते हैं. How it is possible? Because the mind is so absorbed in something higher. So when you get something inner, the outer is less taken care of. So I always say that. See, the more you go from gross to subtle, the quality of life, the quality of experience, the quality of understanding, the quality of joy, everything increases manyfold. बहुत गुना बढ़ जाएगा. Always supposing go eat a big meal in a 7-star hotel माने बहुत सारे बहुत खाया, इतना देखा भी नहीं है, ऐसे ऐसे आप ऑर्डर किया, एक बिल आपके 5,000 आया, 6,000 आया, बहुत खाया. मैंने इसका आनंद कितना समय था, कई बार गले से उतरने के साथ ही खत्म हो जाता. इट इज इमीडिएटली, इट इज एग्जॉस्टेड द मोमेंट इट डिजर्न्स योर थ्रोट. और फिर भी आप याद करके 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 1 घंटा तक याद रख सकते हैं, उसके बाद याद भी नहीं आता. बट सपोजिंग यू लिसन टू ए गुड सॉन्ग, मनी मन उसका आप ही गुनगुना के गाते रहते हैं, उसका तो 1-2 घंटा उसके बारे में, और 1-2 दिन आपका, जब भी आपका मन में आता है ना सवारी क्या कर रहे हो, ऐसा गाना सुना ना, मैं भूल नहीं पा रहा, अभी भी मेरा मन में है. यहाँ तक है, मैं तो आई डोंट सिंग बट आई कैन फील दैट जॉय. सो यू नो, फ्रॉम ग्रॉस टू सट, दिस इज सट. इसके लिए आपको कोई सुनना है, और फिर भी आप कोई अच्छे ऐसी कोई किताब पढ़ रहे, वेरी वेरी एलिवेटेड, ऐसे ठाकुर के बारे में पढ़ रहे, कथामृत आप इतना एंजॉय कर रहे, then it can leave a deep lasting impression on your mind. तो ये सब छोड़ के आप सिर्फ ऐसे ध्यान में बैठ जाते हैं. If you really enjoy your dhyana meditation, several days, one day of good meditation for 3-4 hours will keep you wonderful for several days. हर रोज बैठ बैठ के भी हम लोग कुछ नहीं पाते हैं, क्यों? Because our meditation is, we are trying to meditate, we are not meditating. हम लोग प्रयास करते रहते, ध्यान नहीं करते, ध्यान करने की प्रयास करते, वो भी अच्छा है, बुरा कुछ नहीं. बट व्हेन यू रियली एंजॉय मेडिटेशन, दैट विल बी टोटली डिफरेंट. सो इन हिज केस ही वाज ऑलवेज इन दैट मूड. सो ही इमीडिएटली विल गो इनटू सच exalted moods that it was very difficult for others to understand, but he was always in a state of bliss and joy. So he began to join heartily in all the religious functions of the village, no matter if they were connected with Hari, Shiva, Manasa or Dharma. So गांव में तो बहुत सारे देव देवताओं की उपासना करते थे. इट वाज अ विलेज ऑफ ब्यूटीफुल हार्मनी. गदाधर भी सब में भाग लेता था, आनंद लेता था. His Catholic and religious nature made him free of malice towards the devotees of different gods and goddesses, and he established friendship with all kinds of devotees. So, because he was very Catholic, even in his heart, in his nature, otherwise, normally what happens? One set of people, कहाँ से भी उनकी कोई गहराई कुछ नहीं, they are not deep into everything. हजार जगह यहाँ भी जाते हैं, वहां भी जाते हैं, 1,000 places they go, every that is not harmony or Catholicity. वो हम लोग का इतना सुपरफिशियल मन है, ऊपर ऊपर चलता रहता है, कहाँ भी पकड़ नहीं है. सो ये भी ठीक है, ये भी ठीक है, कुछ भी नहीं है. whether you go here, there, everywhere, there's nothing deep that is happening within us. So we are just able to stand everything. But once you start going deeper, then you become more attracted to a particular form or a particular idea. Then such people might find it difficult to just go and heartily participate everywhere. ऊपर ऊपर सामाजिक एक सोशल इंटरेक्शन की तरह दुर्गा पूजा में ही जाते हैं, कोई वैष्णव पूजा में जाते हैं, शिव पूजा में जाते हैं, एवरीथिंग गणपति भी करते हैं. दैट इज वन थिंग सुपरफिशियल. If you're deeply devoted to a particular form of God or particular idea of divinity, it's very difficult to participate very deeply in something else. So then what happens? Then there's a conflict कई बार. So that is why when कई बार दीक्षा के समय भी ऐसे बताते हैं, इन्हें मेरे तो ईश देवता है, मेरा परिवार ही पूछते हैं. Mother also used to give like that accordingly. So Thakur also says in the initial stages of your spiritual life, आपकी इष्ट निष्ठा होना चाहिए. निष्ठा towards your allegiance or strong affinity towards Ishta is very necessary. So they used to say that a small plant is to be hedged when it's young. When it becomes a huge tree, you can even tie elephant to that. Then your faith will not be disturbed. Otherwise, what happens when you go to different sampradayas, different people, they will say something which is contrary to what your practice is. आपको जो अभी जो अभ्यास है, जो साधन आप करते हैं, they will say something, नहीं ऐसे नहीं, ऐसा करो. Then you will think that ये ठीक है ना, ये ठीक है. What is correct? What they say is correct, or what they practice is correct. So that is why they say in the initial years of one's spiritual practice, one has to steadfastly follow any particular sampradaya with great devotion and diligence and with intensity. Then, when you really understand the meaning or the purpose of particular sampradaya, slowly as you grow older, you can also understand, yes, others. So Thakur did not simultaneously practice Hinduism, Christianity, Islam. एक नहीं किया. हिंदुइज्म में पहला उन्होंने माँ के दर्शन में it completely has established himself. He did not look at anything. उस समय he was not busy with anything else. और बीच में विष्णु मंदिर भी जाते थे. He also go to शिव मंदिर also. But all his concentration focus was on Divine Mother. And completely spending his day, night, effort, everything in that only. Nothing else. दिन रात उसमें ही डूब रहते थे और कुछ भी नहीं. He never asked anything. Mother, reveal yourself. जब पहला दर्शन हो गया, उसके साथ धीरे धीरे ऐसा सिद्ध हो गया, ऐसे प्रतिष्ठित हो, it became so established. Then he knew मेरा फाउंडेशन इतनी स्ट्रांग है. He was completely, totally established in Mother. Then how you could understand everything else? Everything as manifestation of Mother in various other forms. He did not think that Vishnu was totally different from Mother. Shiva was totally different from Mother. Durga was different from his own Divine Mother. मेरे ख्याल से, in my little understanding, I think that he did not appreciate or get absorbed or understand or had spiritual experience of those other deities and forms, etc., as different things. No, the same Mother, the same deep connection of his, that is finding expression in various ways. मेरी माँ इस विभिन्न प्रकार, विभिन्न रूप में, of course, he clearly said it with respect to someone from a fallen woman, a prostitute standing somewhere. He said, "Oh माँ, आप इस रूप में मेरा दर्शन देना चाहते हो?" So probably that was the underlying spiritual experience or idea of Sri Ramakrishna. Everything you read. So that is how he could easily absorb. Of course, he understood when he practiced Christianity, he completely kept away from in the Hindu practices, etc. When he practiced Islam, he completely kept away from everything. And even his food, etc., had to be cooked separately, and he had that experience. But I think somewhere deep within, an underlying connection, everything in a larger context, probably that is why this harmony was so possible. That's why he says, ultimately, how he could say everything goes to the same place. He said, whether you are a Hindu, whether you're a Muslim, Christian, anything, whatever you practice, ultimately everybody is led to the same goal. What was that? What was Sri Ramakrishna was talking about? He knew what he was calling as mother, he was calling as divine, what he was calling as consciousness, what he experienced as Nirvikar Samadhi, what he experienced the highest idea of Advaita. They're all same one eternal truth appearing as various forms. In his case, that eternal truth, he gave the name as Divine Mother. His naming, his calling, his नामकरण, उन्होंने वही संज्ञा, यही उन्होंने नाम दिया था. This was his divine mother. So probably, that underlying idea is what helped him very liberally practice in everything. Because all of you can, of course, go back and think deeply about it, because it's something very important for us to understand how he could practice even from a young age. What was his attitude? Because he was a person who used to go deep into everything. He is not like you, me, and anybody superficially kuch lena. He could practice means he would go so deep. Was he experiencing different realities when he was in contact, or when he was associating himself with various forms of gods and goddesses? Or was he, after his first experience, drawing from that experience and relating every experience to that? So this is something we need to think deeply about. So the people lived in harmoniously in that village, and there were probably that was the trend in many of those villages of that time also. So actually this is something very important in the life of Gadadhar to see and understand for us, even very at the very beginning of this study of Thakur's life. So now we have a few minutes. Anyone online, offline, आप लोग का कोई कुछ पूछना है? If you have any questions, we always, the idea of doing this Google Meet was so that people online also can ask if they have anything to ask, or they can. Otherwise, we say Shanti Mantra and we adjourn for the next class.
How did Shankari realize his unity?
How? Shivu Shakari?
Realized the
Yes. See, the point is, Shivu Shakari was also like Dhani Kamani. He also somehow felt that this person was different. See, whoever was a sadhaka, probably in their lives they were deep, not very extraordinary like a divine personality, but still they were very spiritually oriented. They had some spiritual inclination that helped them identify. See, Dhani or Chirushakari did not clearly understand he was God incarnate on earth, he was avatara and things like that. He was something, this person is very divine. This child is very different. There's some divine qualities. All that somehow they could. That's why it happens. Some it's not happening. See, because even with Sri Krishna, all those boys, those Gopalas, they never thought that he was God incarnate. He was a very wonderful playmate. उसके साथ खेलना बहुत मजा आता था. He was such a इतना नटखट बालक थे. He used to go and steal and break those handis and then bring butter, etc. So it was different. They did not realize that way. But here, they are not children. They are grown-up people. Because Chirushakari and Dhanikama, somehow they saw a streak of something very different. Because they have not seen. See, the whole village had not seen such a child before. But most of the people thought that he's a very wonderful, playful, beautiful child. Women used to come, always spend. There was some attraction. The divine personality comes. Even at a very young age, a Devi Akarshan, like a divine attraction will certainly be there. See, whenever you see why people go to great Mahapurushas क्यों? उनका क्या चार हाथ चार पैर है? They have more hands and feet and eyes and all that. Something in them reveals. The moment you acquire some divinity, people really understand this person is divine. This person has something, some streak of divinity. That's why a large number of people rush, go because everybody wants solution to problems of life. But so these two people somehow understood. In fact, Chinu Shakari went even one step further. He did not. He said that he really worshipped him. I said, today I am doing. In future, how many would at that time you remember me or something like that? He said, when we come to that, we'll really see. So this is only the fortunate few, the rarest to the rare, get a night. During his, see why against boyhood? When he become a fully realized personality also. How many really realized that he was God incarnated? There are not people are कलकत्ता में क्या अभी मान लीजिए 1 करोड़ है उस समय तो कम से कम 10-15 लाख तो था if not more. But how many came? Maybe a few hundred. So it is not possible. It's not possible. It will not, because then the play would end. If people come, if at all, you see, that is the beauty. Devi Hesha Gunamayi Mamamaya Durateya. All these are all, this Maya is very difficult to overcome. Mame ye prapadyanti Maya metam taranti. Isn't it? That is why it's really made to be like that. This forgetfulness is a divine forgetfulness. All of us are ultimately that supreme consciousness, Atman, Brahman. We read, again and again we read. But why we don't remember? That forgetfulness is Maya. That is divine. God Himself has given that. So that this play of creation goes on. We keep fighting. इसके साथ नहीं चलेगा, इसके साथ नहीं चलेगा, मैं इसके साथ दुश्मनी है, ये मेरा अच्छा है. All this goes on. Otherwise, everything will come to an end. The moment you realize we are divine, everybody will perfect harmony. So that's not possible. That's how it is. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanam.
Prasanga Maharaj.